This week on No Cell Service, our hosts cover the supernatural horror 13 Ghosts. This content is intended for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
It's me birthday episode.
Oh my god. I can't believe it. You're this many.
Yeah, that many times 10.
Yeah. We don't have video, but I held up 3. And that wasn't right.
So
obviously.
I'm officially the first of us to turn 30. Well, the first of you and I. And actually, besides Megan and Shauna, the first of the group to turn 30.
Damn, how's it feel?
Not much different, except I actually have to work out now because my body hurts. So
yeah, I'm approaching.
Yeah. You got like 9 months.
Yeah.
So
it'll be all right.
Live up the 20s.
Mm-hmm. And for your birthday, you chose 13 Ghosts.
Yes, the 2001 version.
Yes.
Which is a remake. The first film came out in 1960.
Oh, wow. So it's a remake?
It's a remake.
Holy shit.
It's a little, I say it could be considered a sequel, and I might be in the minority of this. It would be like a sequel with the same exact plot. But in the original, the nephew who gets to inherit the estate in the house, his name is Cyrus.
Oh, interesting.
And
so that they kind of...
Yeah, they definitely took a lot of things and brought it into this era, let's say, of it. But I thought having Cyrus be the one pass on the money was fun.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. I had never seen this movie before, but apparently it's a classic.
So it is a classic now. It's like a cult classic now. But when it came out, it got piss poor reception.
Fair. I mean, well, honestly, I can't quite understand that because to me, it's a very typical early 2000s movie.
Yeah, it said it had high quality art design and practical effects, but the story was lacking and lack of scares. A bunch of people were upset that there weren't more scary bits.
That's fair. I mean, it is spooky, but it didn't have I think there was only one scene where I was really oh.
So there is one ghost in this entire thing that freaks me out the most of the 13 ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the jackal. And that's the one with the fucking cage on his head, which I didn't realize until doing research that that's a dude. I thought it was a woman. It's not.
Yeah, it looks like the Exorcist with a cage on their head, essentially.
Exactly. It is. So all of the ghosts have backstories, elaborate backstories. They all have names. They all have. That's what the series was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be like a 13 episode series talking about each ghost. So the jackal is actually a serial rapist killer.
Oh.
The whole reason he's in a straitjacket is because he realized that something was wrong with him. He checked himself into an insane asylum and then proceeded to terrorize the people who worked there.
Oh,
and
great.
So they put him in a straitjacket because he attacked an orderly. And then he gnawed his way through the straitjacket, so they put a cage on his head.
Jesus. Well, there's a couple of them that I was like, damn. And the practical effects, fucking great.
Yeah, and we can talk about the makeup and special effects that went on to them. I own the DVD of this one, but I didn't have time to fully watch all of the behind the scenes and interview stuff. But they talk about which makeup took the longest. How come it took the longest, that kind of stuff.
I could take a guess, but I don't want to reveal any other types of ghosts until we get further in. So
I think you're going to be wrong.
Really?
Because I was wrong.
I wonder if you and I had the same, idea
at
first. I don't know. We'll get there.
I do want to say, so we talked about us doing the Nightmare on Elm Street in not our last episode, but the episode before that for my birthday episode. And I decided against it because that is a fucking endeavor. That is a series.
Yeah.
We also mentioned the third one's my favorite, so I didn't as much as I want to cover the first one. I've watched the documentary of making A Nightmare on Elm Street. I know so much about the first one. The third one is my favorite, and I would much rather talk about the third one than the first one.
Yeah.
But I felt it wasn't doing it justice to jump into 3.
Yeah.
So we'll cover it at a different time.
We'll get there.
I chose 13 Ghosts because this movie has stuck with me since I very first watched it.
And I can see why, honestly. If I would have watched it maybe not when it first came out because I was only 5, but
Mhm.
you know, even a couple years later, if I had watched it like when I had been trying to like poke into that a little bit, it would have stuck with me for sure.
This movie is what started me wanting to do my horror movie sleeve because I
hell
want to
yeah.
get the 13 zodiac symbols tattooed on me. Or
That's sick.
the black zodiac symbols tattooed on me.
Oh, that's sick.
So this movie like kicked off of a bunch of stuff with me, not to mention Matthew Lillard is in it.
Oh my
Love
God.
him. Love him in Scream. Love him as Shaggy. Love him in pretty much everything he's in.
I can never remember his name. I even looked it up earlier, but I couldn't remember his name. The dude who plays Monk.
Tony Shalhoub. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Shalhoub.
Shalhoub. I don't know. Yeah.
I grew up watching Monk with my grandma. And so that man also has a very sweet spot in my heart.
Oh no. He's a great actor. Very like comforting, weirdly. Like even in roles like this, it was like very comforting to like, yeah, I don't know.
To see him. He's just like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
You know?
He's the dude.
I love him.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about the original 13 Ghosts before we jump into it, if you're chill with that.
That's fine.
Because I did not know this movie was a remake until I stumbled upon 13 Ghosts, the DVD at Terror Trader.
Oh, shit.
And I was like
the original DVD.
The original DVD. And I was like, there's no fucking way. And I turned to my wife and I was like, look. And she's like, holy shit, we have to buy that. And so we bought it, instantly went home and watched it. And the thing with, I believe his name is William Castle. He made the original 13 Ghosts, but he also made the original House on Haunted Hill.
Oh, shit.
And those are the two ones I know him from. He's got a few other ones that I don't want to say are less notable, but just ones I don't know. Homie had a gimmick with like everything he released, right?
Yeah.
So 13 Ghosts had they're not 3D glasses, but they're almost like 3D glasses. They're a bar on top and a bar on bottom, one of blue and one of red. And if you looked through one of them, you could see the ghosts, and if you look through the other, it took away the ghosts. So it was
interesting.
illusiono is what they call them. So it was not 3D glasses. A bunch of people call them 3D glasses. It was literally more like a flat sheet that you can kind of move, and the movie tells you when to put them up and when to take them down.
Yeah.
It's not the best at taking away the ghosts. Like I did flip-flop back and forth, but it does a decent job, like, because it's just taking out, it's like color correction, right? It's taking out the color the ghost is shown in.
Yeah.
And a quick synopsis of it is we follow occultist Dr. Pluto Zorba pretty much through the plot of this movie. But instead of being the house we see it in, it's your stereotypical like haunted house, 2-story Victorian-esque. There's a nanny who lives in the house, or a housekeeper who lives in the house. So it's just dad, mom, and kids, I believe. Cyrus, his wife Hilda, and then their 2 kids, Medea and Buck. So we have a full family in this one. We still have a lawyer named Ben. It's very of its times. It very much has the vibe of like Addams Family and the like production of it.
Yeah.
But I guess this guy was like, William Castle was also really known for doing like one set productions. So that entire movie is filmed in the house.
Yeah.
And I love that kind of shit.
Yeah, me too. Like Grave Encounters, you know?
Yeah.
It was all just in that one building, and it was all
like contained. Something about it being contained like that is just super cool.
Because like when directors do that, like when they force themselves to work with a confined space like that, it also forces them to like think outside the box in ways to like how do you like stretch that location to its maximum, you know what I mean? Like with Grave Encounters, they did it with like the never-ending hallways kind of thing, where like even though you saw the same hallways over and over again, it all felt so different, you know? Like it's just a matter of how the director kind of like takes charge in that. But yeah, like it usually ends up being pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, Grave Encounters was fun because you always felt like you were turned around. You never knew exactly where you were.
And even though you saw familiar stuff, you didn't quite feel like you
it was actually familiar.
Yeah, it was like familiar, but you're like, I've been here before, but also like there's no way, so that it's gotta, you know, there's just something wrong about it.
And I think with the confusion and stuff, this movie also does that really well.
Yes.
Where like you are like, I think I know where we are, and you don't.
No. Honestly, the second half of the movie, I have no fucking idea where anyone is. Or like I'm just like, okay, these people are together and these people are together. It's just, like
Exactly.
it's good. Like I like it. It's a fucking maze.
I do have to also stay at the top. Reshoots were filmed on 9/11. Another movie that was filming during 9/11.
Damn.
Yeah. The cast and crew held a moment of silence while they were filming for it, which is, I don't know how many movies at this point where they've had to do filming during 9/11.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like there's a list out there we could probably find.
Yeah, pretty much anything that came out in 2001.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Or anything that had been
Or I guess 2002.
in production. Yeah, in like late 2001.
Because, I mean, even 28 Days Later, which was a British movie.
Yeah.
Like,
They were
recognized it and were like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, oh God. Imagine having to toast.
Yeah, that whole, it made that scene though. We talk about that a lot in the
Yes,
28
we
Days Later
do.
episode about how that toast
We do.
just feels so somber and amazing.
Yeah, because it's like, you feel like the world is collapsing as they're taking it. And it's like, that's what you should feel. They're in a zombie apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's good.
I think that's all I had to say at the top. So are you ready to just dive into this movie? Almost like the movie does?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty instant. It just like, it starts you out with some janky ass shots of like going through like a car scrapyard or like a junkyard,
Yeah, like your stereotypical one where there are like 4 or 5 cars just crushed and stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Just a maze of junky
Just, like,
cars.
car pancakes, and yeah, it's like wobbly and like a little discordant, just like swooshing through this maze of junked up cars.
And there's crime scene tape like
Yes.
flowing around as well.
Mm-hmm. And then you have this like, I don't want to say military group, but a fucking group of people. Like,
I just kept calling them the team. I was like, it's a tanker truck with 3 black SUVs
Yeah.
and a team of people come out.
yeah,
And it feels very military operation-esque, except instead of being in fatigues, they're like in black raincoats.
yeah, and it's funny because like this, they come out like this, but then immediately the tone switches when they're like, they start talking about why they're there. Basically, this dude Cyrus, he's your typical like rich looking fucking,
Like white guy. He's just your stereotypical villain, man. Like he's in a black trench coat with a cane. He's got like a scruff. He steps out of a freaking 1939 Rolls Royce.
yes,
And is like, yes, people do my bidding.
yeah, literally like fucking like, yeah,
With Dennis.
yes, Dennis, Jesus,
Dennis steps out, and Dennis, Matthew Lillard,
yeah,
is our, what we come to realize, resident psychic.
yeah. Cyrus is like asking him some questions and basically like has him touch the ground, and as he touches the ground he gets these like
I just called them convulsions.
convulsions. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because he starts like spasming and having these like flashes of like scenes of,
Very painful, it seems, too.
yeah, painful, almost like to me it seemed like it's like a sudden migraine, just like out of nowhere, but then it just like fades off. It's like that kind of intensity.
You haven't seen Wednesday, huh?
No.
So Wednesday is a psychic in the TV show, and she has like psychic visions as well that are pretty violent. Like her head gets tossed back, and it just like seems like she's like frozen in a possession form.
Mhm.
And it's like that, except like writhing.
Yeah.
Like he like is moving with the pain and groaning with the pain as he's getting these flashes of things. And we learn whatever the fuck they're looking for has killed 40 people.
Yeah.
And Cyrus corrects Dennis by saying, while he was alive, he's added more since then.
Yeah.
They end up calling him the Breaker. That was his like name during life. Dennis asks, oh, was he like a trucker or something? Cyrus comes back with, yeah, maybe, but he also just like broke his victims into like little undescribable pieces.
Yeah.
So it could also be that.
Mm-hmm. Also, for some reason, it made me laugh because Dennis is wearing like a sweater
Mhm.
underneath a clear raincoat, and it was just like the most 2001 thing I'd seen in quite some time, and it just made me laugh.
He's got like a high neck turtleneck sweater with the raincoat over it. The fashion in this is definitely early 2000s.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of fashion. It's very like just, jeans and t-shirt stuff, but the outfit Dennis has on later is very much like, okay, bro.
Yeah, 100%. He hails over the radio and tells these guys to like turn on this like chanting over a recording.
First they catch Damon and Kalina.
Oh, that's right. My mind brushed over that because that like the only they introduced these characters for one fucking reason. Like this whole scene is just kind of like whatever, but it's just to introduce. Yeah.
No, it's a weird scene. So we have trespassers of Damon and Kalina who are super against what Cyrus is doing. They're like, how could you do this? Blah, blah, blah. They're talking about 13 ghosts and how Cyrus needs a spell and all of these kinds of things. And Dennis is like, bro, I was only contracted for 12 ghosts. What the fuck do you mean 13 ghosts?
Yeah.
Cyrus is like, well, yeah, 12 ghosts plus one more.
Yeah.
Then they turn on the chanting and they release the bait. And the bait is the truck. I say tanker because it's one of those like construction trucks that blasts water onto the dirt so it's not being kicked up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of water, it's goddamn blood.
Yeah.
Being splashed around this entire place, which instantly summons this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really see him yet, but like the pile of cars are getting knocked over. The team, the weird like military brat boys are getting tossed around, and then they start
gets picked up and like dragged up a wall of smashed cars, and then like at the top he gets sucked into one like it's a fucking mouth, and it like eats him.
Yeah, like splits him backwards,
folds him in half backwards, and fucking sucks him in, and you're like, damn, okay, this movie's starting out strong.
The way they show the ghosts is so fucking cool.
I love it.
So the Breaker is actually known as the Juggernaut in the Black Zodiac, which we will explain a little bit more later. But the Juggernaut is this big, imposing man, like 8 feet tall, huge guy. And as he comes into the scene, it's like super choppy. Like he is a full body apparition there. It's not like that smokiness or that like, oh, green screen type ghost. Like that is an
just
actual
a fucking dude.
Full
like
ass
a fucked
person.
up dude.
And then it cuts. Like I read somewhere, and I don't think this is true, I meant to look into it and I forgot to, that they would turn the camera off at certain points. So the ghost would be there and then wouldn't be. It's like these quick choppy movements of they're not there, and you only get to see them at certain points. And we forgot to mention the glasses. You can only see the ghosts with glasses. That kind of reminded me of like the Google glasses. They're just like clear framed glasses, and they have like little LEDs on the side.
Yeah, they're airsoft glasses with lights on them.
Yeah.
Well, not even airsoft. They're just clear protective glasses.
Yeah, with like a set of like 3 LEDs on the right side.
But apparently they make you see ghosts. So yeah, so this thing fucking wreaks havoc. It ends up like pushing over a tower of cars almost onto Dennis. And he's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, the team of goons had like collected in one area, and one of them, like they're scrambling in the mud made of blood at this point, trying to get away, and one dives into this thing called the cube, which is a containment cube for the ghost. It's like this big cell of glass walls, and one of the goons runs into it, which brings the Juggernaut into it, and the doors like hiss shut behind him. This dude grabs the goon and just slams him against every single fucking wall until you can't see into that clear cell because there's just blood everywhere.
Dennis runs up and he's like, let him go. And you're like, yeah, that's gonna help.
Dennis talks over to the radio to Cyrus and is like, oh, you got your ghost or payday, or was it worth it? Something along those lines. And his attention gets dragged over to where Kalina is screaming because Damon is dying. And yeah, Dennis doesn't care about that. He looks up and Cyrus is decapitated by like a metal sheet that has just hit him in the throat, and you can like all the way through his throat you can see where the head and the body is, and it's just like pinning him to the thing, and he's like, oh, Cyrus. And he like, Damon's actively dying, Kalina's screaming, and he's just like, oh, Cyrus, this is, oh no.
Yep. It fades to,
it cuts to an idyllic like green grass backyard with a little rock wall. There's a slide, and it's like this older sister who's in her late teens. I tried to look up their ages, and they did give me exact birth dates, but because I don't know what, I think the film is supposed to be set in like the mid-90s, is my guess. And so I think the teen girl is probably anywhere from like 16 to 18 max.
Yeah.
And then the son is 8 to 10 range in there. 10 is pushing it in my head. Like he's younger, and they're playing in the backyard, just like tossing around, joking. The dialogue is like all not distorted, but it's a little like slow and not matching the scene entirely, of just being like, oh, I love you, like I'm gonna get you, blah blah blah. And like,
yeah, like the audio's, it's the audio is of the family, like, you know, talking, and you'll hear like the camera pans into like the kitchen, or
so what it does is it's like the camera was on a swivel, and so it like pans from outside the window into the house where Jean and Arthur, the parents, are sitting like in the window, like reading,
like talking
books.
about the kids and like watching them.
One day soon, Bobby will be able to pick her up and throw her, and she doesn't even know it yet. And just having like this really like cute scene, and through this entire opening shot, the camera is panning around the room, so it continues like swiveling from them over to like photos. You get to see time pass as they're like, oh, happy birthday, Arthur, and like just like time slowly passing for a little bit until a smoke alarm goes off. And Jean wakes up and is like, oh my god, what is that? Why is the fire alarm going off? And Arthur's like, oh, it's the, what she says smoke alarm, and he's like, it's the fire alarm. He like corrects her for no reason, and he's like, I need to get the kids, like call 911. And so we only get to hear the audio of this, of like Arthur getting the kids, and Bobby screaming, and Kathy like saying, where's mom, and Jean screaming, and like just everyone trying to find each other. And then as the camera is panning, you see like it changed from this idyllic house into a very decrepit apartment. Yeah. All of like, again, all in one room. So it's just like, it's
one shot.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It's one continuous shot. And then you get to see like the photo of Jean that is burnt, and the window shot, instead of it being this idyllic backyard, is a really crappy apartment, like looking from your wall into someone else's wall with pipes, and Arthur sitting there just dead inside.
Yeah, super fucking depressed. Cuts out to the kitchen where you have Bobby sitting there reading, was it news or like news headlines?
Yeah, so Bobby they call him Mr. Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah. He's our little creepy boy, in the sense of he's like obsessed with death. And they even say it in the scene, like this morning scene, of it's healthy to keep a record of death. And I think Arthur thinks this is Bobby's way of coping with his mother's loss. He's reading about like suicide rates and a decapitated body where their nanny Maggie is like decapitated, because he says dilapidated or something like that. Like he can't say it, and so she has to correct him. And
what does he say about the suicide rates? He's like, they're at the all-time
high.
Highest.
All-time high. And we have a real treat for you today. We have a dilapidated body. And Maggie's like, decapitated. Yeah. And he's talking into a tape recorder this whole time, like he's doing his own little podcast about it.
Maggie, right? That's their
nanny.
Like nanny. Yeah.
Yeah, Maggie's the nanny. Kathy's the older sister. Okay. Bobby is the son.
I could not for the life of me remember any of the names except for Bobby's.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't even remember Dennis. Oh. I was just like, Matthew, my boy. Arthur ends up tripping over Bobby's scooter and spilling coffee on him, and is like, you know, go get ready for school.
Like, this is the third time I've tripped over it, and Kathy brings up like, well, if we had a bigger house, and he's like, we don't have a bigger house.
He's like, well, I'm doing the fucking best I can, so like, you got to deal with it. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm thinking of this. I watched that, and I heard it as a child first, And then I heard it as an adult, and child me went, oh, I mean, okay, what, like, I guess. But the adult me went, children, shut the fuck up. Your dad's doing the best he can.
Right.
Like, it's so funny being an adult now, being like, no, you literally don't understand.
Yeah, because in the opening shot too, we see a bunch of past due notices on the walls and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I believe he calls himself a math teacher, but I'm unsure if he's a math professor or not, or like an actual like high school math teacher.
Yeah.
They don't make that distinction, but because Kathy was like, "Oh, you're going to be late for your first class," I want to say professor. So they're living off of
a teacher's salary. And trust me, it's the teacher salaries aren't good now. They still weren't good back then.
Yeah, and so like, he's having to pay for a nanny to help with the housework and the kids. He's having to, like, you know, they mention it here because there's a knock at the door and he's like, oh, that has to be the lawyer. And Kathy's like, I thought you said our credit was all cleared up, Dad. And then Bobby's like, are we going to have to move again? And so you understand, like, they are in dire straits of not having a lot of money. There is a fun dialogue scene while they're all at the kitchen table, though, where Bobby calls Kathy a slut. Like, stop being such a slut. And Maggie's like, I prefer the term bitch.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a very, you understand the dynamic of them very quickly in this first like 7-minute scene.
They do a really good job setting it up.
So they open the door and the lawyer is Benjamin Moss.
Yeah. And he comes in and he sits down and he tells them that Arthur's uncle Cyrus has passed and it has left, you know.
He has a will to show Arthur.
So he pulls up a laptop and turns on this video, which the background is all fucking like.
It's a weird ass background. The best way I can describe it is
summoning circle steampunk.
Yeah. It's very copper, like the rich brown coppers, and then like that more like penny copper, very like just lots of copper.
To me, it almost looked like a background you'd see in like a video game from that time. You know what I mean? Like when you pause.
The pause screen or the opening continue screen. Yes,
yeah, 100%.
For sure. I could totally see that.
Of like a creepy, like, you know, hellish kind of, I don't know. But the video opens and it's Cyrus and he essentially goes on to tell them that like he has this giant house and it's the
accumulation of his life's work.
Yeah.
And his only regret in life is that he never got to know more about his only nephew.
Yeah.
So like his way of making it up to him is leaving the house and everything to Arthur and his family.
Yep. And of course the kids are like, what the fuck? And, you know, Arthur's like, is this real? And the lawyer's like, yeah, you know, I'm going up to the house later if you want to come with. And they're like, yeah,
obviously,
because I mean, they hear house, like, get out of that fucking apartment.
It's also a really weird ass key.
Oh yeah, so the lawyer leaves. He has this fucking key for them that Cyrus leaves, and it's
a flat. And that sounds weird because like keys are flat, but it's like it's so flat.
It's got like the square head or like the. You know,
a rectangle head with like a circle. Like if a child drew a key.
That honestly, there you go.
Yeah, if a child drew a key and then the circle bit of it wasn't hollow, like it was a full circle into a rectangle shape with some offshoot keys. Like it's a very weird key to have. Kathy points that out. She's like, "What the hell is this?" And he's like, "It's a key."
Yeah.
But they take a trip up to the house that night. Bobby and Maggie are in the backseat playing hangman, and the word is suffocate. And he's like, I win! And we literally like just keep getting scenes of Bobby just being the weird kid. And I love Bobby.
And Arthur and Kathy are in the front, and he's like, things are finally looking up, huh? And she's like, yeah. And of course, you're sitting here thinking, it's not going to, of course, it's not that easy. They arrive at the house, and it's this big glass
2-story
like
thing.
Yeah, like
think modern glass house, no concrete.
Imagine Edward Cullen's house, but like 90% glass.
It's all glass and steel.
Yeah, there's like weird half window panes on like the windows, kind of like
Yeah.
sort of key shaped, but not even like, almost more like butcher knife shaped, where it's got that like thin part and then it's like a thick part for like more than half, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. They show up and fucking Dennis is there dressed up as an electrician looking like shining his flashlight and stuff, and then fucking Bobby, no, the lawyer, Moss walks up and Dennis shines a flashlight right in his face. He's like, "Is this your house? I need to get in here to..."
We got 3,272 houses without power. I can't come back tomorrow. Just let me in and get into let me just check your breaker box.
Yeah.
And he's like, can you just cut me some slack? I've only been on this job for like 3 weeks. And Moss is like, I don't care who you are. This is our house. And Arthur cuts in and is like, no, it's fine. He can go check the breakers.
Like, it's
no big deal. So they put the key in to the key slot, and then the key slot eats the key. It sucks the key in. So like you lose the key as soon as you open the house. The door is interesting because instead of being at a flat part of the house, it's at a point. So it's like at where two edges meet, and the doors slide out to let you in, then close behind you, and then another like angled door slides open to let you in, almost like if you're going into like a clean room or a containment area where it's like two sets of doors so you don't get contamination. And
we also forgot to mention, on pretty much every window and like glass wall you see is like markings.
Oh yeah, it's etched glass where Arthur later notices it's Latin being etched into all of the walls.
Yeah, but when he puts the key in, the house like starts to come to life. Like lights start coming on, and you actually get like a shot of this mechanism tuning into action, and like the house literally like turns on, you know, and like the window panes move a little, and like it kind of opens up, and everyone goes inside, and they're like, "Holy shit! Like this place is fucking crazy."
Yeah, it opens in. Does it open in on, or no? I don't think it's the first room they go into, but there's a shot of this room where it's empty, and they call it like a cathedral. Like it's just a big empty space, and on the floor, it's pretty much the background of the computer, right? It's got all of the different copper, and I just called them plates, but they're like rings. There are 13 rings on this floor making like this circle pattern. And one of the rings in the center is spinning. So it's not like it's flat spinning, right? So the floor is moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that one kicks on. It like zooms out and shows each of the little rings that they'll have their own little etchings on them.
Yeah, they all have like runes or these markings on them.
The place is full of freaking antiques.
Yeah, so
and
Arthur
collectibles.
and Kathy immediately, like Kathy walks up to Arthur and is like, how much is some of this stuff worth? And Arthur's like, dude, I'm already thinking about that. Like,
it's insane. He has like a full samurai armor set.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of old school like telescopes,
like historical antiques. We're not talking your grandma's fine china. We're talking like historical antiques. You know, like it looked like some sort of like mechanism you'd use for astronomy or something like that. Like stuff like that sitting around that you don't know what the fuck it is, but you know it's worth a lot of money.
There's like some book in a glass case that I'm like, is it like an original Bible? Like that type of thing where it's just like, this shit is expensive.
It's the only written copy of like the Latin language. Like, you know, like what the fuck is it?
Right. It's just a very expensive house full of expensive things.
Yep.
Arthur tells Maggie, Kathy, and Bobby to stay in like the cathedral plate room
while he goes to like sign some papers
in the library.
He's very stern about them staying in that room, and they're like, okay, whatever. And then like as
they're
soon
like,
as he,
are you afraid we're gonna get, or you're being so protective? And he's like, yeah, of all of this stuff, because I know you guys.
Let me get house insurance. He literally says, let me get house insurance first, and then y'all can touch shit.
Yep.
So as soon as he leaves, they all just fucking dip. God damn it. I'm not ever going to get mad at my kid if that happens, because, you know, they're fucking kids. What are they going to do? Mm-hmm. But also, like, just listen every once in a while. You know, if I just ask you something, would you just listen? Is that too much?
The thing is, for me, is he left them in the most uninteresting room.
That's fair.
What are they going to do? There's not even chairs to sit down. This is the worst room to leave them.
That's fair.
I would have taken them. I understand why he doesn't take them to the library, because he wants to ask Moss some like personal questions
Yeah.
without the kids knowing. But leave them in a better room that has more interesting shit. Be like, hey, like, go check out this bedroom and stay here, right?
I get that. I mean, just maybe in his head, he was like, I won't be long. I don't fucking know.
Well, I also understand why he did it, because he's like, I don't want you guys breaking anything. Stay
Yeah.
in the most uninteresting room.
Well, and
but it's a double-edged sword of, you're in the most uninteresting room, you're not going to stay there.
But like Bobby has a scooter. He's already scooting around that room, like, you know.
Yeah, but Maggie makes it more interesting by saying, let's race. So
Yeah,
I understand both sides of it. Like, I understand like being like, please don't move, but I also understand their side of being like, and do what? Like, they don't even have cell phones. There's no TV in this room. Again, there's no chairs to sit down. Like, there's nothing to occupy your time. And he's signing a bunch of paperwork, allegedly, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
It's going to be a hot second. We did forget to mention that Dennis was able to go down into the basement.
He's like walking around. He's kind of just like, what the hell are you doing, Cyrus? Like,
what did you fucking do?
The fuck? Yeah, just kind of like, what is all this? Because he doesn't even know. Maggie and Bobby end up, they split up from Kathy. Kathy goes and finds a bathroom.
She finds the bedroom.
She finds the bedroom first.
So she finds a very luscious, expensive bedroom. Like, it has this nice, like, fluffy bed, and there's a vanity with a bunch of like old school perfume bottles and like just very expensive, like Victorian-esque style stuff. Maggie and Bobby end up finding a different bedroom, but it has a bunch of like war action figures and comic books. And Bobby's like, oh my God, this has to be my room. It has all the coolest toys. And in there, they find a pair of the ghost glasses. Dennis names them later, and I don't remember what he actually calls them. But
yeah, I don't remember either.
They find a pair of the ghost glasses, and Maggie's like, hey, like, these are pretty nifty. Like, you gotta feed my ego. And he's like, I want to see. So Bobby ends up with the glasses. Dennis has his own pair of glasses in the basement and ends up catching a glimpse. He goes into convulsions down in the basement and then catches a glimpse of, the Torn Prince. The Torn Prince is a young, I don't know, like early 20s looking guy, like maybe like greaser style guy. He's got like a leather Footloose,
but more like Grease-esque.
Yeah.
Like
he's a greaser guy. He's got the white shirt, the jeans, the leather jacket, and his one side of his face is just fucked. It's like fire, or
he swings at the something.
I don't know. It's like just severely damaged. He's very much like, kind of looks like a zombie, like his very gray flesh, and he's got a baseball bat.
He fucking swings at the glass like full force. You're like, holy shit.
And then we get a flash of the Pilgrimess, which is an old lady, crazy hair, like Salem witch trials type, looks like she was a witch in stockades. Yeah,
in one of those like wooden
stockades.
Yeah, that's what they're called. Some people may not know it. Like those wooden clamps where like they'd put your head in your hands and they'd clamp the top over, and you'd have to fucking sit there for a day while the townspeople can throw fucking
tomatoes at you.
Yeah,
that stuff. And then he gets another flash of the Hammer, which is this big bulking man with train spikes, just like
all over him.
Just every inch of this man has a spike. They're train track spikes. I have a whole bunch of these because of my dad. He goes around collecting them when he's at work. And so like they're those thick ass, like real steel, or what's the cast iron, like the gigantic fucking things that you nail down railroad tracks with, right? All over this man's body. And he like pulls one out of his arm and just like pulls it out and is like staring at him. He's just like this insanely buff, crazy looking guy.
Yeah, fucking crazy. Oh, this is the guy that I thought would take the most time.
Nope.
Really?
So the whole chest piece is one piece.
That makes sense.
So a lot of those things are one piece. From what the main special effects I watched was of the Juggernaut getting his done. His took 4.5 hours for the Juggernaut. His chest piece was also one piece, but from what I understand, the chest pieces are all one piece, but all of the face makeup are all individual pieces that have to be reapplied every day. And so the face stuff takes a long time, and the Juggernaut has like a chin prosthetic, ear prosthetics,
Yeah, he's got that like bulge on his head.
Yeah.
Like on his forehead. Yeah.
And so I think for the hammer, a lot of the nail head spikes are kind of, I wonder if it's like a bald cap type deal where it's easier to put on and then do the makeup that way. I didn't really get to see too much of his, which I really wanted to.
Because he is bald. So
yes.
that would make sense. Like if they just
were able
to. on a bald cap. Okay, so, well, wow. Yeah.
We still have yet to get to the one who I believe took the longest.
Ooh.
So the Juggernaut and the Hammer are up there, but there is another one who they said they believe they are the one who takes the longest.
Damn.
So we'll get to it. The last ghosts he see are the Great Child and the Dire Mother,
which is this fat ass giant baby dude with fucking gross ass like food coming out of his mouth and
like
shit.
Smashed peas. And then the Dire Mother is this tiny little old lady feeding him.
Yeah, like
this tiny person.
Yeah.
It's the height difference is like feet, not a foot, like feet, multiple feet. And then we do also get a flash of just like a extremely bloody room.
Yes.
Nothing else in it. This convulsion for him like has him on the ground. He is like leaning against a wall. Like it was a fuck ton.
And then it cuts up to
Moss and Arthur.
Yeah. They're
talking about property taxes.
Yeah, and it's at this point where Moss is starting to act weird. Where like being a little coy, I guess. Not quite coy, but just I don't know, there was like it was at that point where I noticed like a bit of a devious look about him.
It wasn't in the car when he looked into the rearview mirror and was smiling really weirdly.
I may have looked away at that point. I maybe was distracted with the fact that Bobby was excited about getting suffocated.
That's also fair. There's a weird scene of him in the car when they're driving here, of him like looking in the rearview mirror and he just like smirks like he just caught some prey.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking lawyers, whatever.
Yeah, because lawyers are fucking weird, man. Sorry if you're a lawyer, but like y'all rub me the weird way.
Yeah, agreed. I can't remember what exactly they're talking about, but as they're like talking about this, he's trying to get Arthur to sign, but then Arthur's like keeps talking.
Yeah, so Arthur's like, look, man, like this is great, but the property taxes alone,
that's right.
Like I'm a teacher. I have nothing. We lost it all in a fire.
Yeah.
Like I can't afford anything. And Moss is like, your uncle was a genius. You guys don't have
That's
to
right.
You
don't have to worry about a thing. All you have to, like, you're never going to have to worry about money ever again.
Yeah,
you just got to sign here.
Just sign the paperwork and you're all set. Which is, like, super weird.
And at this point, fucking Dennis bursts in. He starts rambling because he's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, you need to get out of here.
He's like, I used to work with your with your uncle. And he does a bunch of weird lingo.
Yeah.
Until he settles on, do you know what I'm talking about? And Arthur's like, what? And he's like, ghosts. I used to hunt ghosts with your uncle. And Arthur looks at him and is like, goats? Dennis loses his fucking shit. And he's like, ghosts, goddammit.
No, not fucking goats.
Spirits.
It's so good.
He explains that there are containment cubes in the basement. And he's like, bro, I don't know about you, but I would get your children out of this fucking house.
Like I helped your uncle catch these. I know how fucking bad they are. I don't know why he literally is like, I don't know why they're all here, but we need to get the fuck out of here.
Moss comes back with like, oh, this guy, like we know Dennis, whatever his last name is. I was told he would come out of the woodworks. People, when rich people die, all the crazy comes out, and next thing you know, he's gonna say Cyrus owed him a bunch of money, and he's like, he did. He owed me a shit ton of fucking money, but I don't give a shit about that right now. I want to get the fuck out of this house. Yeah. And while they're talking, Dennis gets another like convulsion flash.
Yeah,
and then Arthur touches him, and then makes it 10,000 times worse.
So as soon as Arthur touches Dennis, like as Dennis is convulsing on the floor, like Arthur's just trying to help, but he reaches down, and then like Dennis literally gets flashes of everything that happened to Arthur. Like
the fire,
he saw the fire,
Jean, everything.
Like, and he doesn't just see this stuff, he feels it too.
Yeah.
So like he felt all of Arthur's pain going like through the loss and everything.
Mhm.
And so like Dennis is laying there like half dead on the floor, and Arthur's like, oh my God, what can I do? And he's just like, don't fucking touch me.
Don't touch me.
Don't fucking touch me.
And during this chaos, Moss leaves the room.
Yeah, he
but
sneaks downstairs.
he ends up sneaking into the basement. But while that is happening, Bobby and Maggie do the whole like racing through the house, find the room. Kathy goes from the bedroom into the bathroom where she is just kind of admiring everything. Like there are more perfume bottles and more. The bathroom has like frosted glass in it.
Yeah, it's all glass, but it's that like bathroom glass, that like square, almost like pool
Tile.
Yeah.
They're not like tile, but they're like the what would you say, like a 3-inch by 4-inch cube.
Yeah, they're just
3
like
by 4 by 4.
They're like not even cloudy glass cube, but they're like you can't see them because it's like warped. You know?
Yeah, it's like a weird warble effect where you can see there's someone behind the cubes.
Like you would not be able to see someone taking a poop, but you could tell that someone was in the bathroom maybe if you looked hard enough.
Yeah, like you could see almost like you could make out a shape, but you couldn't distinguish what the shape is.
It's a cool bathroom.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's cool. She walks up to this like table with some perfumes on it and smells it, and she's like, I can't remember what she says, but it's very just like
she's just
typical like
like 16-year-old like
that's the stuff.
Like this is
like
amazing,
that.
and then she goes to go check herself out in the mirror and is continuously adjusting her ponytail.
Stares at herself for a while in the mirror, smiling uncomfortably.
Down in the basement.
And down in the basement, Moss puts on a pair of those glasses, and he's walking through past these cages, and
This motherfucker.
he's making remarks at all the ghosts. Like he cracks a smart one at the prince, and then he walks by this
the firstborn son.
The firstborn son is this little kid in like an Indian outfit with a fucking arrow through his head.
Yeah, like Native American Indian, not.
Yes, sorry, native. Yes,
a Native American, like the old school style of like cowboys and Indian type thing, like something you really think of from like the 50s. And he's got an arrow, like a bolt from the back of his head sticking out of his forehead. Like kid was shot in the head with an arrow.
He passes this sliced up naked lady.
The angry princess.
Yeah, and makes a remark about her tits. I only say the word tits like that because he literally says nice tits. I wouldn't just be like, yeah, that broad's tits. Like that's not how I talk about women, but sorry, it doesn't fucking matter.
No, you're good. I said that about a guy one time and my wife was like, what the fuck? And I was like, his pecs classify as tits. The homie's got a nice rack on him, like.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And she's like, what the fuck? And I was like, men can have tits, all right? They can have a nice pair.
Gosh, like I don't even remember what I was watching recently, but someone kept cracking jokes, being like, "Are they making fun of your son for his fat tits?" Like I don't remember what the fuck I was watching, but goddamn.
So he goes to the room where I just start referring to this room as the guts of the house. It's got this weird. We saw it earlier with the pendulum that was swinging, the weird mechanic stuff we were talking about earlier when the house like turned on. In the center of it has the shape of an hourglass, but it is just gears.
Yeah.
Spinning, and there are Saturn-esque rings just spinning around it. This thing is terrifying.
Yeah. These gears on like the center of the tops of them, there's runes. It's like a giant ancient looking mechanism. I mean, it's not ancient because it's like modern gears, but like you get what I'm saying. Like
this thing is, I think we need to stress the fucking size of this thing is huge.
Yeah, it's like 1 story tall, and it's
8 feet wide.
If you were to put like a kiddie pool in your living room, it's probably bigger. Actually, no, wider than that.
Yeah,
It's big.
It's
like I'm trying to even.
Is it U length? 6 feet?
I'd think so. I think it's at least
like the base is 6 feet,
and then these gears are fucking big.
They're massive.
Like when we see someone later standing in front of it, it's like 2 of them tall at least.
That's fair.
it's the middle of this room, you know what I mean? It's a big room,
That's
but
fair, that's
like
fair.
most of the room is taken up by this thing.
This thing is fucking gigantic and scary. And to be fair, though, the CGI kind of holds up.
Oh no, the CGI was great, honestly. I was like, damn, that looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
Moss goes over to pick up a suitcase that's resting on pedals, and he picks it up, and then the pedals release, and then a bunch of these mechanisms start fucking turning, and he
what
goes
are they called?
and...
Like the Wahlberg machines or whatever?
Is that what those are called?
They're like
The
crazy.
Mark Wahlberg machines?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg, you know what he does. Like those machines that you drop a marble and it hits a toaster and the toast flings a thing and then magically you have coffee.
But it looks more... It kind of looks half like an organ. It doesn't really look like an organ. It's just like a bunch of levers. But like,
yeah,
it's like the fucking thing that the Wizard of Oz used to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a little bit.
Yeah, it's got the pedals, and then instead of
it's literally just missing the microphone to be like.
But yeah, no, that's a really
like the
good
Wizard of Oz, fucking
thing.
lever thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good comparison. He picks up a suitcase full of fucking money from that, which then is a domino effect of all of these other things happening. And we also get a shot of the plate room again, where more plates start spinning.
Yeah, and then some of them are like locking into place, matching up these runes, and then the whole house starts to shut down, or not shut down, close down. Like the windows start to, like the panes start to close, and like doors are closing. Everything it's going into lockdown essentially.
Yeah, and what you were talking about earlier, those like half metal sheets or like those butcher knife style sheets on the outside of the house start shifting and moving to where you could see out of a window at one point. You can't see out of that window anymore, and it's not like the entire house is shutting down, but like specific parts of the house are moving and shutting. Half of the
house has shifted, and it's now like different.
And now Arthur decides to listen to Dennis and try to get his kids out of the fucking house because shit be weird.
So Moss ends up trying to leave, and the door, one of the fucking cage doors opens.
Yes,
and it is the
angry princess.
She walks out,
and she's got a fucking knife.
And she's got a knife, and he's like, "Hey, like it was just a joke." She backs him up into, like, keeps backing him up, and then all of a sudden the fucking metal door behind him closes, but not behind him. The glass
door fucking in between him.
Like halfway through him, and then you just see only his front, just slow, like he's just like choking there for a second,
and his eyes are like fucking moving,
and then his front just like slides down, but then his back half, like you can literally see his brains and like everything, like it's a perfect half cut, and his front is just sliding down slowly, and I was just like, oh my god.
It's a really intense scene. And what I loved about it is that like his tie falls off because that was cut off, and so like pieces start falling off of him, and this scene is so silent.
Yeah.
Besides like the of the door, and then like his gasping, and then the of the like the body sliding down the glass. And the angry princess just looks so like pleased.
She's just like, okay. Like,
and
cool.
So her makeup took the longest.
No way. And I guess that makes sense because
it's each individual cut on her body. She's full ass naked, and so I'm assuming the boobs you do see are prosthetics to amplify.
Yeah,
and probably not to
they
help her
definitely
not
didn't
feel weird.
Look 100% real. Either she had work done, or
I'm pretty sure there are like slices around them. So I think they were prosthetics, especially like just to make the actress feel more comfortable. 100%. I would assume because they're in plain view all of the time. Like she has no clothes on.
You see the yabos.
Yeah.
It's Do we cut to the bathroom next? Or is that like a little after they're trying to like Arthur? I mean, at this point Arthur's panicking because they're like, how the fuck do we get out?
Yeah.
Because like they try to go to the front door and
we get some quick cuts of Bobby running around with his scooter, Arthur and Dennis screaming for the kids around the house. They don't get to the front door quite yet. They're screaming around the house. And then it does cut to Kathy in the bathroom. I love this scene because the camera zooms in through a set of glasses that are resting on a plate next to the mirror. And so it zooms in through the glasses. And as you zoom in, the entire bathroom is now covered in blood.
Yeah.
And the angry princess is standing behind Kathy and also adjusting her hair and looking at it like, oh, I'm not as pretty as you are.
And
like, what the
looking
hell
at
is
Kathy
happening?
like, yeah, very like, oh, and Kathy's sitting there smiling because she doesn't see she doesn't have the glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
So Kathy's sitting there smiling, like playing with her hair. And the angry princess is just like
Angry.
eyes like bug-eyed,
Mm-hmm.
fucking creepy as shit. It's such a cool scene.
Yeah, and we do it cuts back and forth. I think I tried to condense them so we weren't jumping around too much.
I do think at this point it cuts to Bobby at a certain point and he hears voices from the basement.
Yeah, so I condensed all of Kathy's bathroom scene into one chunk.
We can talk about all of one thing if you want.
I thought it might be easier because there's a lot of cutting back and forth between this of just like
there's a lot of things going on at once, so they're dropping you back and forth in between all these things.
Yeah,
but
so you cut between
easy to
Kathy,
talk about
Bobby,
like that.
Dennis, and so Kathy and Bobby are two separate, and then Dennis and Arthur being together. You cut between those three. So I did just condense Kathy's into this.
That's fine.
And so Kathy then goes over to the bathtub to pull back the curtains to show this beautiful clawfoot bathtub. And it cuts between being nice and pretty and being covered in blood. And the covered in blood side, the angry princess is sitting there with her knife staring at Kathy as she's like looking into the tub and she's resting in just this pool of blood.
Kathy like goes and sits down on the edge of the bed and turns on the water, and she's just like holding her hand under the water while the princess is staring at her like, I can't fucking believe she's doing this right now.
Like, how dare she not recognize my existence?
Literally, like that kind of look of like, is this bitch for real? All of a sudden you see fucking blood start to come out of the faucet and shit.
Yeah, and she's about to take the like handful of blood and splash her face
she
with
like
it.
splashes her face with regular water, but then she goes to like splash her face with the blood water.
And Arthur bangs on the glass and is like, Kathy, get the fuck out here or whatever, and like startles her out of it. And Kathy is like, oh my God, isn't this place amazing? He's like, we need to get the fuck out of here. Then we'll cut to Bobby. 2 more ghosts have been released. We can tell because the plates, we keep getting flashes of the plate room with the plates locking. And then as soon as the plates lock, it unlocks a door and then they spin again. And then the plates lock again and it releases a door.
Yep.
Bobby is still scootering around and he passes the basement where something catches his attention.
Yeah.
I don't think he can fully hear them.
No, but he hears something because he hears voices from the basement. He's like, Kathy?
Maddie?
Like, quit playing around. Like, are
you guys down there?
Are you guys down there? And then like you hear this voice kind of say like, Bobby, come down here. And as he's going downstairs, you also hear another voice be like, no, Bobby, run.
Go back upstairs.
Go upstairs.
Don't come down here.
Don't come down here.
So we get
But it's like back and forth. So you have like, and they're not the same voices, but they're very similar. So it's like,
yeah, it's 2 very feminine voices. One being a little bit more playful, being like, oh, like, come and play, come down here with me. And the other one being like more motherly, panicked of like, Bobby, don't come down here. Bobby, go back upstairs. Bobby, don't listen to her.
Yeah. You're like, what the fuck? He ends up going down.
He does. He goes down and he's convinced Maggie or Kathy is down here. And he's like, come on, guys, stop messing around. But upstairs, Arthur is ordering Maggie, and because they do catch up with Maggie, ordering them to go outside and wait. And Kathy's like, why the hell do we have to wait? And he's like, for once in your life, could you just not fight me? Just please listen to me. And so they go to the front door, and this is where the front door is gone. The front door won't open. He gets he gets a chair to try and break it. Breaks the chair in the process.
Yeah.
And Dennis has stripped out of his freaking orange jumpsuit and is now in a black suit with a red paisley print shirt buttoned down to like mid-chest.
Oh, dude. Fucking killer, man. Holy shit.
They decide to go look for Bobby because no one can find him. Arthur is pissed because he looks at Maggie and he's like, I pay you to watch my children. Where the fuck is my kid?
Yeah.
Dennis is like, I'ma not do any of that. Like, I'ma just chill here. And Arthur's like, The fuck you will. I don't know who the hell you are, and my son is gone. I'm not letting you out of my goddamn sight. And he's like, okay, yeah, that's fair. I'll follow. But as they're walking to go look for Bobby, Maggie says the best joke, which is, did the lawyer split?
I didn't even realize. Holy shit.
It's my wife's favorite part of the movie. She's like, it's so good. It's just comedic timing, amazing.
That didn't even fucking click with me. Holy shit. That's so good.
So the guts of the house start spinning, and the floor upstairs with the plates lock again and are releasing more ghosts. Bobby is getting lured deeper into the basement as 3 more ghosts are released. And I'm like, the basement is so uninteresting. For if you don't have the ghost glasses on, it's just a bunch of empty glass rooms forever.
Yeah.
It's what's the best way to say? It's like post-apocalyptic. I could see this being a greenhouse, or not post-apocalyptic, like cyberpunk. What's eco-punk? I could see this being like an eco-punk greenhouse if it was above ground and if there were plants in it. It's just boring.
I could see if it was like the shittiest funhouse you'd ever seen with no power on. That's kind of how I.
That's also fair.
You know. It's not a great fun house because all the rooms look the same and none of the mirrors make you look fat or tall. It's just a bunch of weird looking glass.
Yeah, that's it. It's a bunch of empty, weird looking glass rooms, and Bobby just keeps going deeper and is like, come on out, guys. And he's wearing the glasses these entire time.
Yeah.
It takes him a hot second to see anything, but when he does, he runs into the bound woman, which is a woman in a dress with her neck like broken to the one side. Think of the crooked neck lady from A House on Haunted Hill. And she's got a tie and she's like bent over and she like
twitches.
Spasms?
Yeah, it's very gross.
It's super fucking weird.
I don't like it.
He then screams. He's like on his little razor scooter
and scoots
screaming
for his fucking life. Yeah.
He ends up, if you've ever ridden a razor scooter, those things tip over at the littlest tiny of bumps.
No. He hit a piece of dust and tripped off of his scooter and fell.
Ends up crashing and then looking up and seeing the torso.
Yes. It is literally what you think. It's a torso that's like wrapped up in saran wrap.
Yep. The head.
It reminded me of Dexter's victims.
Yeah.
Like how it was wrapped up a little bit. Not like mummified, but and then the head is separate, like on the floor, and it's fucking like walking on its hands.
So that is actually a double amputee.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they got a double amputee to play the torso. I don't have his name off the top of my head.
That's the way to do it though, because like those not much practical effects, honestly. They just had to get rid of his head. Yeah,
they just wrapped him in cellophane, and then if I remember correctly, they put like a green screen bag or something over his head, and then did the effect of the
meat in his neck.
Yeah, like the throat, and then his head was on the floor.
That's sick.
So that's great. Bobby starts running for his life again and
runs into a glass wall.
Runs straight into a glass wall where his recorder drops, and I think you can hear he hears Jean for the first time.
Yes.
So the motherly voice we've been hearing this entire time of him telling him to go back upstairs is Jean, or the fourth ghost, the withered lover.
Which Bobby then turns around and sees his mom. And and at this point I was like, what the fuck? Because again, I had never seen the movie. So I'm sitting here like, I had already been invested, but I sat forward in my chair. I was like, oh, no fucking way.
Yeah, she's standing there and she's like, Bobby, you need to go back upstairs. Like, and then he bumps into Cyrus's ghost down here as well, who's luckily behind another glass wall, so he doesn't actually like have any interaction with him.
But he's like, like Cyrus.
Yeah, because Cyrus has like a freaking gash across his. Honestly, why isn't Cyrus like nearly headless Nick? But he's got a very big like gash across his neck, right? And while all of that is happening, Dennis is upstairs explaining to the family that the glass is shatterproof, soundproof. It's ecto something kind of glass.
It's etched with protective runes.
The ghosts have to. It's ghost law. The ghosts have to abide by what's on them.
They have no choice but to abide by what's on them.
He then re-explains that the basement is a jail cell for ghosts, and no one believes him. So he's like, you know what? See for yourself,
He
Maggie.
literally
Take my damn glasses.
He gives Maggie the glasses, and she sees the hammer.
No, she sees the hidden barrier spells on the floor.
Well, she like still doesn't believe him though.
No, because she sees the hidden barrier spells on the floor, and Dennis is like, what the fuck do you mean give them back? So he takes them back and he looks and he's like, why would you need extra protection? What the hell is going on here? Yeah. Then they go down into the basement where Dennis is like, I just told you there are a bunch of ghosts trapped down there. Why the hell do you want to go down there? Arthur is like, but you also said they're like locked up, so we should be fine, right?
Yeah.
And
Dennis
then when they're down in the basement, he also promises Dennis he'll pay him whatever Cyrus owed him.
Yeah.
He's like, just help me find my kid.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're down there, Arthur gets the great idea to split up and telling them to just go in a straight line and come back to the center in 5 minutes. This is where, so they split up with Kathy and Arthur and then Maggie and Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie asks Dennis to explain the ghost things again. And he's like, what the fuck don't you notice? Like, why aren't you listening to me? They noticed an open door and he gets jump scared by the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I fucking hate it when they do that. And she's like, do what? And he's like, they wait until you're right there and then they jump scare you. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, put on the glasses and you'll see. And she finally believes him. And he's like, a believer, finally.
Yeah, she sees the hammer and she's like, what the fuck?
Dennis then gets a flash of him dying by the juggernaut.
Yeah, he goes to flip off the hammer as they're leaving. He like does a double take, turns back around and goes to flip him off. And as he's flipping off the hammer, he gets this flash of him like getting slammed against the walls and then falling onto the floor dead.
So as he's flipping off the juggernaut, his face just kind of drops, or not the juggernaut, the hammer, and he's like, oh, fuck.
He's like, what the fuck? But he doesn't say it out loud, but he literally mouths like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Arthur and Maggie end up finding the tape recorder. They rewind it back too far and only hear Bobby's screaming. So if they would have rewound like a little bit, they probably would have been able to hear Jean's voice. Mm-hmm. But they rewind far enough that Bobby is just screaming, and Arthur pauses the tape and is staring at Kathy, and this poor girl has to calm her dad down, being like, Dad, I'm sure he's okay. Like, he's gonna be okay. And I'm like, God, another case of like a kid having to grow up too fast, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, unfortunately, like a death like that, most of the time you're kind of forced to. Maybe not, maybe in some special cases, but most of the time something like that, you know, usually is a big, it's a new chapter for sure. So
yeah, I feel so bad for her because like she was also cooking breakfast, and like even with the nanny to help out, it seems like she's had to step up and like take her mom's place. Yeah. Not in a weird way, but like she has to kind of like fill that void of like,
take care of the men when they're not at 100%.
Yeah, because Arthur is not doing well.
And obviously Arthur hasn't been at 100% since everything. Like he even mentions it later that he's been a fucking shell.
Yeah, so he hasn't been the same since she passed, and so
so
Kathy had to step up a lot. But the next door that opens is the fucking jackal.
Oh God!
All of the ghosts. This guy freaks me the fuck out so hard.
Spasmy. There's something like primal almost about feral about the way he moves and just like fucking. And Dennis has warned them about the jackal. He's like, yeah, that's the fucking.
Has he?
I feel like he mentioned it at some point. The one that he hated the most or something like that.
It does get mentioned. I just don't remember when it gets mentioned because we'll see someone else also mentions it later.
Yeah.
It opens and Kathy is starting to believe about the ghost. She's like, Dad, like, what if there are ghosts? And he's like, think about what the fuck you're saying. She puts on the glasses, and in between her and Arthur, the fucking jackal appears and just attacks her.
Literally starts like not even dragging her away, because it pushes her down onto her back. Almost if you like grabbed a person by the knees and pushed them backwards. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like, it's more like the jackal just like had a hold of her and was just like fucking pushing her backwards. And like pretty much every time you see these ghosts, it's the cuts between not seeing anything and like seeing someone getting dragged by nothing to then like seeing them getting dragged by the ghost or what. Like it's that back and forth. So she's getting dragged backwards down the hall and Arthur's like sprinting after her. She gets fucking pulled to the end of the hall and gets pushed up against the wall. Like she's off the ground at this point.
just getting clawed at. There's
getting
just
clawed at, literally.
scratch
like,
marks just
yeah.
appearing, and Arthur's like, tell me where it is, tell me where it is, what can I do?
Tell me what the fuck to do. And then, out of nowhere, Kalina shows up and
throws a flare.
She throws a flare, which this made me laugh because she throws the flare and like it makes the jackal disappear, but there's nothing. It's just like the jackal's there holding her up, and then like the flare just like tinks against the wall, and then fucking Kathy falls to the ground. Like it's just I started laughing because like it's this intense scene, and then the flare's just like tink, and then it just everything's fine, and you're like, oh, okay.
Might as well. So the flares got mentioned at the start when Damon and Kalina get not obtained. What's the word I'm looking for? Detained.
Yeah.
They get detained by the weird goons. Cyrus says something about like silver flecked flares or something. They're specific flares meant to scare away ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it works. It gives them enough time to just drag Kathy away, and then they end up in a tug-of-war battle between them and the jackal with Kathy's existence.
Yeah.
I almost said body, but she's still alive, but like her body is the rope.
Yeah.
And they are playing tug-of-war with it. They end up being able to drag her away behind a glass wall with barrier protection, so the jackal can't get to them anymore. Maggie and Dennis then run into the firstborn son trying to get out of the basement and then get cornered by the angry princess right after. So they bolt away from the firstborn son, get cornered by the angry princess. Then it cuts back to Arthur and Kalina, and he's like asking her like, who are you? Why are you here? What's going on? And she's like, oh, like I pretty much is PETA for ghosts.
Yeah. She's like, your uncle was enslaving these ghosts and it's just so wrong and I'm here to free them. And you're like, yeah, PETA for ghosts.
If PETA... No, I'm gonna stick with the analogy. I was gonna say if PETA was like actually a good person and didn't murder animals because they see owning pets as slavery.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stick with the analogy for now.
Yeah.
She tries to like explain the ghost hunting a little bit more, and Arthur cuts her off and is like, what the fuck are you doing here? I don't care about Cyrus. And I was like, you literally just asked her who she was and what she did, and like now you're cutting her off when she's trying to answer you. She forces Kathy to give Arthur the glasses so he can see the jackal being a true menace just behind the glass, just being a fucking weirdo. She says the enslaving the souls and she's going to free them and blah, 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 and shows him the arcanum that explains the mechanism that the house is and how it's supposed to show the future, and it was all written under demonic possession.
Yeah. Like this dude created these blueprints under demonic possession, and it's supposed to be this like...
Yeah, it's supposed to show the future. They describe it as a machine designed by the devil and powered by the dead. Kalina says she'll only help them leave if they help her. Like, she has a job to do. She'll get them out. Because Arthur's like, how the hell did you get into the house? Like, it's in lockdown. And she's like, oh, a panel moved and I was able to sneak in. And she's like, but I'm not going to help you because I have shit I need to do. So once you help me, I'll help you get out. And while they're talking, Kathy disappears. She's fucking yoinked out of existence. No sound, nothing.
Yep.
Then they get cornered by the firstborn son. It's their turn to see him. The house is constantly moving and closing and changing its shape and opening things, and it's just a wild, like, you haven't seen it. The Cube is another movie that I would like to cover, but it is so fucking slow. Like, I feel like it would we would have to cut it to like a 30-minute episode because a lot of the things are just like the same.
Yeah.
But picture like those giant Rubik's cubes that have like multiple, like more than 9, right? And it's a prison, and you just rooms around to where you don't know where you are.
Yeah.
The Cube is pretty much that. And that's what I thought of with this house, is like things are just changing consistently, and you never know if the stairs are still going to be there, or if the door is there, or where you are. It's a
ever-changing maze.
Dennis and Maggie get separated. They, as the house is moving, Maggie skirts her way through this closing pane.
That's right.
And Dennis throws the glasses at her, and he stays on he gets trapped on the other side, and she apologizes, and he's like, yep, this is going to be great. He gets locked in the room with the torn prints.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And the Torn Prince is just beating the shit out of him with a bat until Maggie puts on the glasses and is like, duck,
Start like
move,
calling
left,
out
right.
stuff. Yeah, trying to like tell him, how to evade.
And he gets lucky because the house shifts again and there's just enough space for him to like, not barrel roll. Was it when you like,
kind of just tumble?
Yeah, tumble roll through and get out of the room with the Torn Prince. Arthur and Kalina find the hammer, but luckily he's still trapped. They run back into the jackal, who hits a barrier spell. Is it a barrier spell on the ground? I can't remember if it's on the ground or on one of the walls.
I don't remember.
They decide to get to the library because there are barrier spells on every single wall of the library. It's the safest place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie and Dennis get back together after he is out of the room with the Torn Prince. And they make their way upstairs thinking they're home free until the great child and the dire mother cut into their path. Then as they like skirt them, they run directly into Kalina, who her and Arthur had moved a pane of glass from the ceiling to climb up onto the main floor instead of looking for the stairs. They pull them up from in the basement, and Arthur narrowly misses getting hit by the hammer, and they all run to the library. And at this point, I'm like, bro, where are your kids?
Yeah.
And they chill in the fucking library for a hot second.
Mm-hmm.
They make their way to the library, but like the jackal gets between Arthur and Dennis, who shreds Arthur's back. The pilgrimess appears and chases them into the library. So they have two more encounters. They lock themselves in the library. Kalina blames Dennis for catching the ghost in the first place, that this is all his fault. And then Kalina is like, you didn't tell him, did you, about the fourth ghost? And he's like, don't tell him. He doesn't need to know. Why would you tell him? He's just... And
Kalina's like, he has a right to know.
Yeah, so they finally let Arthur know that the fourth ghost is his wife, and he decks Dennis across the face, sending them both falling to the floor. He also blames Dennis then for this whole thing being Dennis's fault.
Yeah. This is then also where Kalina reveals that... So Dennis mentions that Cyrus talked about the 13th ghost, and Kalina's like, oh yeah, the 13th ghost? That's what she called a failsafe?
Yeah, she called it the failsafe. She pulls out the Arcanum and goes more into detail and explains to everyone the Black Zodiac, the 12 ghosts, which ghost everyone is. So we get the list of the Torn Prince, the firstborn son, the dire mother. She lists out all of them that are in the book, how the whole thing works, how it opens the eye of hell, and how this would show past, present, and future. And so the person who, controls it would be the most powerful person on the planet. And that was Cyrus's plan. The 13th ghost is a failsafe, the broken heart, a willing sacrifice to short circuit the system by giving up their life in like an act of love. Maggie and Dennis are both like, the fuck no. Because she's like looking at Arthur like, bro, you're the broken heart.
Maggie's like, dude, that's literally suicide. Like, you're not going to do that, Arthur.
And Dennis agrees, is like, you're not killing yourself. There has to be a different way. And like, Dennis just got decked in the face by this man and is just like, I'm not letting you kill yourself. Like, there's no way. Like, he's a pretty nice guy. All right. They then make a plan because now they remember the kids. All right. The kids finally get brought up again and they're like, I need to go save my kids. And Dennis is like, you and me, let's go one more time. Let's go out there and search for them. And so they find a pane of glass that isn't necessary somehow. A math teacher and a psychic hoist around this giant pane of glass like it's nothing.
Yeah. Dennis makes the joke. He's like, here's your shield, Captain America, or something like that. Like, it's funny.
And then
it's smart. Like, honestly, I was sitting there thinking, good on you guys, because I wouldn't have fucking, No,
it's a smart idea. It's just the fact that pane of glass is heavy as fuck. And they have to carry it around this entire house. Yeah. The ladies decide that they are going to go down to the like guts room where the big mechanism is to buy them some time. They wander around with this giant pane of glass until they get attacked by the Torn Prince.
Yep. He starts swinging at the fucking pane while they're like pushing forward through this hall, and they like
drive him away or do something. He like gets separated, and then the hammer appears, and Dennis is like, oh, well, there's only room for one of us behind here, and he traps Arthur in a corner with a pane of glass so Arthur is protected as the hammer comes up and just starts beating the shit out of Dennis.
So this is where we see like his vision. He gets the shit whipped out of him. He gets picked up and thrown against the wall. He gets picked up again, and then
the Juggernaut gets released.
Yeah. So you see him come down the hall, and Dennis is like, oh, fuck. The Juggernaut picks up Dennis, just kind of snaps him in half.
Against the edge of a wall.
Against the edge of a wall. It's very clearly a dummy, and like the dude just like fucking cracking this dummy in half on a corner. But yeah, and then it
drops him like a sack of potatoes.
Blood from his mouth, and yeah, he falls to the ground, and you're like, God damn it, I really like Dennis.
Yeah, he was nice. Arthur starts having like a mentee bee behind the glass.
Yeah.
But before it gets too much into that, the ladies are in the basement. They have a flare as their protection.
Mm-hmm.
Kalina sets to work doing something. She has the Arcanum out and goes to one of like the control tables. Maggie's holding the flare and is like staring at the mechanism, and it's just like, what the fuck is this shit? She looks over, and the ghost of Cyrus appears, and she's like holding the flare out to her, like, oh my god, like, Kalina, the flare isn't working for this one, get over here. And then Kalina grabs the Arcanum and just smacks Maggie upside the head, knocking her out.
Yep.
And then makes out with Cyrus for a second.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck?
And Cyrus like pushes her off of him and is just like, where is it? And, like, starts going through the book, and
she's like, I did everything you asked me to. You're not mad at me, are you? And you're like, oh, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a scene very early in the movie that we didn't talk about of Kalina collecting all of the stuff she needed.
Oh, that's
so
right.
It was flares, TNT, and tapes. Like recorder tapes. She also mentions that in the library, that she's like, I got enough explosives to blow this place sky high, or I don't know,
back to the 16th century or something like that.
Yeah, she has a better analogy than I do. He grabs the tapes that she brought him and starts playing it, and it's the chanting again that drags all of the ghosts to the plate room where all of those spinning plates were that locked and released them. And it's here that we see Arthur have his full-ass mentee bee, where he's like crying behind the glass and just like kneeling there and just like losing his fucking mind.
And then his wife shows up.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't remember what she says, but she tries to comfort him. Then she fucking vanishes, and he's like, no, don't go. And then he starts crying, and you're like, oh man, like, this guy's been through a lot already. Like,
yeah, he tells Jean, he's like, I'm nothing without you. Like,
yeah, this is where you really find out that like he's been fucking broken since this all happened. Yeah, she vanishes.
Yeah, she gets dragged away with a chant as well. Cyrus tells Kalina to put the kids in real danger so Arthur will save them. And she's like, they're just kids. And he's like, do what you have to do to make it happen.
Yeah.
He's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. He's a piece of shit.
Like, after Kalina, because it jumps from Cyrus talking to Kalina to Arthur's mentee bee. When it jumps back to Cyrus and Kalina, he crushes her to death between like two glass plates. Like, he does I don't know, like the same thing that happened to Maggie and Dennis earlier, where like two of the walls were kind of colliding into one and Maggie was able to skirt through. Kalina gets trapped there and gets smushed to death. And apparently this death was supposed to be a lot more gory. Like, her eyes were supposed to pop out of her head and a bunch of stuff, but they were worried about their rating, so they didn't do that.
Damn.
Which also like feels like a callback to the original movie, because the lawyer, Ben, also named Ben in the original one, gets suffocated to death by a 4-poster bed where the canopy like lowers on top of you and suffocates you. Dr. Zorba and Ben both die that way. So It felt like, the same kind of like squish effect. Yeah. Felt like a little homage there.
That's cool.
Kathy and Bobby appear between the spinning plates that aren't just spinning on the floor anymore. They're like spinning like Beyblade freaking Saturn
like
rings.
Rotating around them like a gyro. Like, like if you've ever seen someone get put in one of those fucking cages that just makes you spin around in every fucking direction. It's got those like balancing rings that kind of spin on a certain axis. It's like those kinds of rings. They're fucking spinning all around.
Yeah, instead of being on the floor, they are now 3-dimensional, and all surrounding them are the 12 ghosts who are also chanting, I think. Or I don't, because the chanting music is playing, so it's hard to tell. They're like standing there like, not, what is this pose called? Like the
T-pose?
No, not T-pose. It's like the death pose in yoga, but standing up. And so they just have like their palms facing towards, like inwards towards the mechanism spinning, and they're all like looking at the ceiling, standing like as straight as can be. Cyrus appears before Arthur, who, after his mentee bee makes it back, like sees his kids in the spinning plate thing, and so he gets out from behind his little makeshift safe area and runs over there, and he's got the glasses on, and he doesn't originally have the glasses on. He looks and then puts the glasses on, sees all the ghosts there, and then looks down the hallway, and there's Cyrus. And he's like, they make eye contact, and he does like a little nod, and he steps back into the room, and then he starts, like, he has an inner monologue of Kalina going through all of the ghosts, being like, the firstborn son, the torso, blah, blah, blah. And he's counting them off on his fingers, and he's like, 12. So who are you? Yeah. And he steps back into the hallway and takes off the glasses and realizes Cyrus is alive. And he's like, you son of a bitch. And he rushes at them, and he like starts punching him, and like
starts beating the fuck out of him.
Gets a decent hand up until he doesn't. And Cyrus is like, you piece of shit. You want to fight me? Like, I've done way more with my life than you could ever dream of. And like beating him up with the cane, and gets Arthur down on the ground, and Arthur tries to like toss the cane to the side, but he ends up pulling off the sheath because it's a cane sword. And then he's like is faced with a sword. The 13th ghost has to be made out of a dedication of pure love. So Cyrus is like, you will jump in the freaking machine, like you're gonna do this for me. Maggie's still alive and is now, well, I guess she only got knocked out, right? So I guess it's not still alive. Maggie wakes up and starts fucking with the lever system down in the guts room. She's doing the like old school like record scratch type deal with the tapes. She's flicking the freaking levers, just doing everything she can to mess up the machine, and the gears do start like grinding and catching and not running as smoothly. And while that's happening, it like glitches the ghosts because the chant isn't summoning them anymore, and they go after Cyrus. They throw him.
They literally yeet him into the fucking mechanism, and he gets
actually decapitated, and
he gets exploded into a bunch of pieces. And you're like, damn. Hope the children had their eyes closed for that one.
Dennis appears to give a pep talk from beyond the grave. Being like, your job isn't done yet, but like, you got this. And he's like perpetually cleaning his glasses, I guess.
He's like standing there talking to Arthur like, your job's not done yet. You know what to do. Arthur looks over at the mechanism, and the kids are like screaming like, don't do it. Like, no, like, you know, don't fucking do it. It cuts back to the mechanism getting even more fucked up. Like at one point it kind of like comes to a halt for a second, and like then starts fucking going crazy. As this is happening, Arthur runs and
catches like a glitch in the spinning to where they all hit the floor.
It all stops for a second as it glitches, and he jumps through and lands with the kids before it starts up again like immediately. And it's fucking going crazy, and then all of a sudden it cuts down to the mechanism downstairs, and
it explodes.
It fucking explodes. Like it fucking, it's like a bomb goes off.
Which made me think, I was like, did Kalina actually set up the TNT? Like, there's so many fucking explosions in this entire house, and I don't, like, it doesn't make sense because she was on Cyrus's side. She was doing this for Cyrus, but I was like,
I don't think she set up explosives. I think it was just supposed to be like,
I wonder if, because her bag was down there, I wonder if it then like set off the explosives somehow with like the explosion from the mechanism, if it then triggered like the TNT to explode in the C4. Because like it explodes, and then the entire house just like starts exploding and breaking and getting destroyed around them.
Glass shattering, and it's crazy. It's like Michael Bay type shit.
It's really fucking cool. But as the dust starts to settle, all of the ghosts just walk into the forest.
Yeah, they run off into the forest, except the jackal like turns around and does the like, you know, shoulders down, like fucking chest up to the sky, like like kind of thing. I was like, oh god,
I hate him. He creeps me the fuck out.
Yeah, and then it cuts into like Arthur and the kids, and you know,
Kathy asks, like, how'd you know you would be safe here? Like, how did you know we'd be safe here? And he's like, I didn't. I just wasn't going to leave you here.
yeah, and then their mom shows up.
And they can see her even without the glasses.
Yeah, they can see her even without the glasses, and she's like, "I love you guys so much," but she doesn't. Her mouth doesn't move when she says it.
She's also not in the hospital gown anymore.
Yeah, she's not in this hospital gown. Her face isn't burnt up like she was earlier. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Well, she died in a fire, like
yeah,
or she died in the hospital after the fire. That's why she had the IV.
But she looks normal now, and so they get to say goodbye, and then it cuts to fucking Maggie,
who somehow survived the explosion.
And she's like, not even sauntering. She's fucking like, what would you even call it?
She's stomping around, but the ground is uneven, so she's stomping and like careening side to side.
She's stomping and wobbling, being like, I fucking quit. Y'all white people are fucking crazy. I ain't doing this shit no more. I'm moving back to I don't even remember.
I don't remember what the fuck she says, but she's like, you fucking crazy ass white people dragging me into shit. And she's like, I quit.
And then
it cuts to some like early 2000s divorced dad rock music playing, and
that's the credits.
That's the movie.
Fantastic.
I was gonna ask, like, what did you think of it?
I loved it. You know, the other day we were talking about our top 10s. If I were to have a top 15, it's definitely in my top 15.
This movie, like, it's
not because it has anything special necessarily. It's just like, it's just so special on its own. I don't know how else to describe it.
It gives me the same vibes as like Grave Encounters does, of like, this is a comfort movie that I will watch and like brain off, just enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, you can deep dive. Again, we talked about this with Grave Encounters. You can deep dive into it if you want, but you can just like chill and just watch a movie play out in front of you. The special effects don't pull me out of it. The dialogue doesn't pull me out of it. The music choice is fantastic. The cinematography is fucking fantastic. I love the way they film the ghost. I love the way everything is done with it.
Yeah, I mean, you even, like, at one point, you even get a shot of, like, Arthur where, like, the light's just on his eyes, and he says something, like, he says something to Kathy, and he's like, I can't afford to do that, or something like that. And it's, like, the light's on his eyes, and I was like, damn, that was cool. Like, you know.
It's super cool, and I understand why it's a cult classic, but I also can understand why it wouldn't have been a big hit back in 2001.
No, this is definitely something that people like you and I have always enjoyed, but it just, like, you know, it was never properly appreciated until, like, a lot of people started sifting through the old shit and being like, oh, wait, you remember this? You know?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, at least our age, have been doing that more since, you know, the internet's just gotten more fucking millennial.
Yeah. But, like,
or Gen Z or whatever the fuck.
Whatever the fuck is happening with it now. I want to, sift through more of it, because, like, we loved Black Christmas. And, like, I feel like I want to start doing a bit more of, like, the even older, because, like, obviously this movie is 4 years old now this year. 25 years old. And, like, that's old. But, like, to me, this is just, like, a movie, right? Because I grew up watching it. I do want to, like, kind of dive back into some of the older ones, because like they were good. I
don't know if I want to wait until my birthday, but if I had to, my birthday episode this year would be Alien.
Oh, I'm so down to do Alien.
But I also don't want to wait until November to do Alien.
We might not need to wait till November.
That's why I'm saying, like, that's how much I love that movie. That's an older one. Like, that is a classic. Anytime someone's like, I don't like watching old scary movies, like, I'm like, bitch, have you seen Alien? Do you know how fucking terrifying that shit is? Have you seen the sets on that shit? Have you seen the cinematography? Have you seen the lighting and the sound effects? Almost nothing, except for fucking Star Wars was like that shit back then. And Star Wars wasn't even in that category. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, oh, God.
No, I'm super down to do Alien. I think that is on our master list of things to do anyways. Yeah. Now it's just going to be figuring out what we want to do for the rest of this month. Yeah. But we'll get to that. Thanks, everybody, for spending my birthday Sunday. My birthday's not till Wednesday. Wait, did I tell you we're gonna start releasing episodes on Monday?
No.
Yeah, so our release schedule, I mentioned this in the last episode that got released, is going to be switched to Mondays because of my work schedule. It just works out easier for editing for it to be released on Mondays now.
Yeah, because we got to switch our recording day too.
Exactly. So our release days will be on Monday. So thank you for spending the Monday before my birthday with us. I will be 30 on the 14th.
Oh my God.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Follow our Instagram and threads at No Self Service Pod. Until next time.